Fried. TT fries. That's what she did. Hey. Welcome. You don't know who it is. Whoever it was, they left. Push T. Let's hit enter. Stand.
It's on there.
Hmm?
It's on there.
Hey, Janae. What happened? She hurried up and jumped off. She fried. Fried. Alexa, play Pressure by Ari Lennox.
Pressure by Ari Lennox on Amazon Music.
Hey, Mom. Today's topic is single parenting. The challenges and the victories. Hmm. just joined, how you doing? So today's topic is single parenting. I was trying to let some people come in. Um, the challenges and the victories of it. I am a single mother myself, so I definitely feel like I got something to add to the conversation. Feel free to join if you want to comment or just put your comment in the comment box. Okay, so I'm originally from East Cleveland. For all my people on here that's from Ohio. Just turned 40 years old. I'm a single mother of 3. My oldest is 20 years old. My youngest is 17. 2 girls and 1 boy. I have had some challenges, some pretty hard things to deal with, but I feel like I'm equipped and made for it. I guess I just want to open the platform up to let people kind of chime in on what their experiences is with being a single parent and some tips and stuff that y'all can share. So I guess the biggest question I get is how do you do it? And I guess that's not an easy question to answer, but it definitely takes a village, some help, some trustworthy people to help you through. It's not something that you can accomplish on your own. I definitely credit God for a whole lot of my victories. Hell, all of them. As far as getting me through, it's not been easy, especially not having father figures involved to help. So it's definitely been challenging, but very rewarding. My 2 oldest is finished with high school and just trying to figure out, their purpose and what they good at. And I only got 1 boy, and he's playing sports and in his last year or so of high school. So I'm like, who am I? Like, who are you outside of being a mother? So that's just, where I'm at and where I come from. Definitely one of the hardest jobs in the world, for sure. Hey, Ma, what you doing? You funny. Hello to whoever just joined. Tonight's topic is single parenting. Opening up my platform to have a discussion about it, challenges and victories. If you care to join, just send me a request. So I guess another big topic is the stereotype that comes with being a single parent. society say something must be wrong with you if the other half of this kid is not present, and I just don't agree with that. Because I done definitely had my moments. I'm guilty of being driven to do some things, thinking I was going to correct the situation, but it did not. It don't. It won't. No matter what it seemed like, that's not how you get through that right there. Boy, hurt you, okay? So, yeah. A lot of people believe that it's got to be something wrong with the parent that end up sticking around versus the parents that's absent. Do you want to get in my life?
No.
Why?
I look ugly right now.
Boy, you funny. Oh, grandma.
Look at my hair. I need a haircut.
My son.
I'm thinking.
No,
See me, bro?
absolutely not.
Yeah, please.
No, you don't.
You remember what you told me at the beginning?
Bye.
I was black.
A 17-year-old, that's the baby. Feel free, like I said, to share your, share your experiences in the comments. Hey, hello to whoever just joined. How you doing? Hey, cuz. Tonight's topic is single parenting. Let's talk about it. Some of your experiences, challenges, and victories. Let's discuss it. I feel like this conversation could definitely help a lot of people. Definitely don't want to just discuss the downside of single parenting. I also want to talk about the victories at the end, or maybe somewhere in the beginning where both parents could learn how to coexist and co-parent without all the drama. Hello to whoever just joined. Tonight's topic is single parenting. Feel free to leave your experiences in the comments. But like I said, I definitely want to talk about both sides of it all. Mm. Eric. Get my mom. You irritating.
No.
You was such a liar, man. I swear. You is. Such a liar. What?
My mouth.
I don't know what you did with it.
Face man, clean up a little bit.
I told you to order that men's collection on site. It's a whole face system.
Them cheese puffs. Oh, I started.
Eric, come on now. You got a problem, kid.
Them cheese puffs. Crazy. I was like studying on myself.
Boy,
30 degrees man.
what is that?
I water, boiling hot water.
For what?
My mouth.
What mask?
It's like inflammation, and you got like it get hard if you have clear water, like make it mess.
What you talking
She got it from outward inflammation. It's a thing.
From Haiti.
Yeah, it's a thing that's in the tree,
Boy,
and it got 5 reviews, so I got it for my butt, for my foot. And you popped the button and you left it stand on my nose. Yeah.
no, that's because it ain't all the way out. It's still in there.
No, dropped it almost a bunch of crap. I don't know how to
Hey, Shar. Tonight's episode is single parenting. Let's talk about it. Experiences, challenges, victories. Hey, Shar.
Hey, girl.
So tonight's episode is single parenting. Let's talk about it. Challenges and victories. Some of our experiences. I feel like we can help a whole bunch of people with this particular topic anyway. So, I shared, I got 3 kids. I just turned 40 years old, I also mentioned that, it's a stereotype with society by saying because you're a single parent, something must be wrong with you. So I think that we definitely need to touch on that. Because I don't agree with that. You know, people's choices is their choices. You know, so.
So why is something wrong with you if you're a single parent? Sometimes it's in God's design. That's just the way it is.
Yeah. Well, I just feel like it's a stereotype. I don't agree with it by far, but I'm just saying that's how society treats you. It's like something got to be wrong with you as to why the other parent choose to be absent. You know, I know me personally, a lot of people have like mentioned something to that degree to me. And I'm like, I mean, I accept and own the different toxic things that I did in my past that probably may contribute to it. But ultimately, that is not our burden to carry as the parent that's there. You know, so.
So, well, I could say like sorry, I'm in the bed. I had a long day, but as far as me being a single parent, I'm a single parent by choice. You know, I chose to raise my kids, you know, and if their fathers wanted to be in their lives, then they, you know, that door was always open. As a mother, we have to provide for our kids no matter what, who is there, man, whoever, animal, whatever you want to call a man, a dog, animal, whatever. But we as mothers, we have to provide. So at that point, you know, in my case, I just say it was a choice.
Mm-hmm.
It was a choice. And it was a choice for peace, too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, again, I want to talk about both sides of it because I don't think that we touch on the different relationships, both the bad and the good, because some people have conquered that and have learned how to co-parent, you know, with each other without all the extra, you know, and some people probably will never experience that. But I mean, again, both situations ultimately shape you on what type of parent and person you gonna ultimately be behind the weight of the load, you know, because we have to wear so many different hats and do so many different things, you know, as one person. It's almost like they think we is an octopus or something.
absolutely.
It's a superhero.
Yeah.
You know.
We gotta wear the different hats, the different costumes,
Yeah.
you know, for them. But, you know, I was just blessed, like, the way I moved that now, like, with one of my, the boys' dad is there, so having two of the dads that's living, being, you know, cordial and co-parent, and being able to co-parent and still be able to communicate, and then know if, you know, you can't, if that energy is negative, just to, you know, stay away from them or whatever. But, you know, I was just, you know, lucky to have, like, figures in my boys' life, like their uncles, big cousins, you know, that took the place of that void that they had. But they, all my kids, you know, have relationships with their dad, and their relationships is not a relationship that I have with them. And as long as they have a relationship with, you know, the other parent, that's pretty much, you know, fine with me. I don't have to intervene with that relationship unless, you know, unless as a mother, a situation where I would have to. But I allow my kids to have their relationship, you know, when they wanted to. You know, when we was younger, you know, I speak for myself, like, my mother never talked bad about my dad or anything. You know, we were, you know, 70s babies, so when our parents broke up or divorced, well, ours divorced, we were the ones that was waiting for our other parent to come pick us up for the weekend, like just like a lot of movies that y'all see, you know, where the kids waiting for their dad and the dad never come. That was me and my siblings. And you know, after a while, it just, at first it was hard, you know, but we would cry, things like that when we were young. But as we got older, you know, it was fudge him, you know, in so many words. If we want to come around, he'll come around. If we see him, we see him. And to this day now, you know, we did a couple of years back when my granddad passed away, we did have a conversation where, you know, my dad did apologize for not being around like he should have been. And, you know, I told him, just have a relationship with my little brothers. I think that will probably, you know, make me feel more better. Have that relationship with your sons. I'm okay, because I'm the oldest kid. So that relationship having with my little brothers is probably the best thing, you know, and I'll be fine. But I know that if I need them, I can, you know, call them.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because that's definitely been like a huge issue for me as far as me personally and my dad and the non-existent relationship that we got. Much as I look like that man, because I have younger siblings too. I'm the baby from my mom, but I'm not the baby from him. So it's difficult because one of my younger siblings is the same age as my son. So it's like you would expect just that to kind of like bridge the gap a little bit, you know. But I can honestly say I remember the day where I felt like he let go. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, we would see each other here and there, but you know the type of bond that you supposed to have with your father as a woman. You know what I'm saying? So when you know when that's been severed or something shift or something changed, you know, I can remember the age I was when that changed, probably about 14. And you know, being 40 now is like people still ask me like, well, how your dad doing and what's the state of your relationship? And you know, I had that bashing of him growing up. You know what I'm saying? But it taught me. It didn't make me look at him any different. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's right. When he chose to let go is when everything changed. You know, it's just like, hey man, at some point here's how I look at it. It's like, hey, I could keep trying to extend my hand. I could keep trying to mend that, but ultimately, if it's not the timing. If the timing is not right, because that's our problem. We want to control everything. You know, we want to set the stage for stuff to be the way we think it's supposed to be, but if it's not the divine time, then it's not going to happen. And then you end up, you know, hurting and affecting yourself by trying to do that, you know. So for me, that experience let me be different with my kids and not bash their fathers, you know, for not being around. You know, it's a choice, like you said. It's never a twisted arm. Like, I ain't never, like, called, like, hey, you better do X, Y, and Z for your son or your daughter or else. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't that type of person, you know. So, I just, you know, I want to use my platform to be able to create a space where we can have these type of conversations. You know what I'm saying? About the stuff that ultimately affect all of us. You know, this is not about color or ethnic background or, hey, chill. You know, it's not about any of that. It's just for us to have a space that we feel safe, you know, discussing the things that we've been through or overcome. So, you know, tonight I was like, okay, I've been procrastinating.
But you know what? It's like a twist though to that too. So we picking our choices, we being mothers.
Hello.
And we're saying, we're going to raise our kids if they have a relationship with their parents. But then now our kids are grown.
Mm-hmm.
And we taught our boys, at least I taught my boys, no matter what, take care of your kids and be a father. The boys be a father to your kids, the daughters be a, mother, take care of your kids. And what hurts me now is that sitting with 13 grandkids, it's 9 boys, 4 girls, and I can't see all my grandkids because of, some of the younger generation of mothers that, if they're not with the dad, then
Woo,
the
woo,
dad can't
woo,
see
woo.
their
Wait,
kids.
let's talk about it, because people don't believe that works both ways. You feel what I'm saying? And I just was telling this to my daughter or somebody like a few days ago, where that's almost like a double standard to society. They think that it be only the fathers, who be on that. But no, somewhere down the line, somebody told these parents, these young people, that if you had this kid, that's gonna fix your relationship with this person. Without realizing, like, ain't no kid. It ain't nothing that you can say or do that's gonna change this person. The only person gonna be able to change them is them. So it still go back to choices, that people choose. Like,
Yeah, it's a choice.
they choose,
It's
they think that by the choices that they're making, for instance, keeping the kids away and all that, because I done been accused of that too, but it ain't never happened. Y'all just never came, or never showed up. But for the parents that's keeping the kids away from the other parent, you think you hurting the other parent, but you hurting them kids.
And especially when the other parent has been in their child's life, to strip them of that's just showing your feelings, like you trying to get back at that parent and hurt them.
Yeah, but
like
you
said,
also
that's
teaching
where
that
the cycle
kid.
come in at where
You teaching
they
that
feel
kid to
like-
be like that though too. You feel what I'm saying? To be put in a position to have to choose a parent over the other, and that is what starts the cycle of like indifference with these parents. You know what I'm saying? Until that conversation arises with that child and that absent parent, like, do that child realize like it wasn't what the other parent said it was? You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't the parent not trying to see about them. You see what I'm saying?
Then that's my other point, like what you said. Now going into it now with me working, in the schools, where I'm getting at is the attitude of a lot of these children once they see that it was actually the parent that they're with that was keeping the parent from them. That is where you find a lot of these kids have these behaviors, or they're doing bad things to get attention.
It's lashing out.
They're acting out. And then a lot of these younger generation of parents, because I work at a K-8 school, you could tell the parents that are parents and on their kids' ass about, dressing nice, keeping their face washed, just grooming themselves to go to school, and the ones that actually wants to be their kids' friends. We're not here for friends, but we are a parent.
Right.
And
right.
trying to be their friend is basically they're grown. They're doing what they want to do, so they feel like they can disrespect anybody because it's set in stone that nothing's going to happen to them because their mom or dad, whoever, because they could live with their dad and it could be that way, or their mom is playing a role of being their friend, and they think that that's how. It's not a book on how to raise kids, but
oh man,
I'm not gonna be friends with my kids.
Say that for the people in the back.
And if I'm the only parent, I'm going to be the parent with capital letters.
Well, I
So,
feel, but you know what though, sis? I also feel like if we was to take on those roles of the absent parent, the difference that it would be as a mom. You know what I'm saying? As a mother, when you disconnect and you abandon your children, I don't feel like it's a double standard. If that's what you do, it ought to be the same thing across the board. But I feel like if, as mothers, if we was to abandon our kids, we would be shunned by everybody, and our face and name would be all over the news, and we would be, you know, basically like beat about not being present for our kids, you know. And it's like, I tell these newer mothers anyway, or parents, you know, if you don't learn who you are outside of being a parent, you gonna drive yourself crazy, because you are many things within that your one body. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not just a mother. And I think that a lot of times when we become mothers, we forget about the me time. Like the time that we need to learn how to spend with ourselves. And that's why a lot of people is having struggles with that as an adult. You know what I'm saying? Knowing how to just sit with themselves and spend time with themselves, because they never synced it. You know, all of it starts back with not just the absent parent, but a lot of the things that we do as single parents, the ones that is like there, you make mistakes. A whole lot of them too.
But that's how you learn. That's how you thrive. That's how you grow. That's how you're able to pick up the pieces and be able to live. Like, although I have an empty nest, a mother's job is never done.
Oh,
it's never done. You trying to live your life, and then you have to. It's something that one of the kids. It's something. So you're always involved, whether you're there or not.
Right.
Me time. Absolutely. Take time out for yourself.
Yep.
Take time out to get to know yourself. Like this past year, just talking to a couple of friends, like I go to movies by myself, or I go eat by myself, and I'm cool with that. I feel like that I always needed somebody a little breakfast with me or that. Now I tried to go somewhere by myself and do that, and it felt good just to be within self. And when I say that going by myself, I think safety first. Like, I can't be out here by myself because anything could happen. You always want at least one person. But to just get that little bit of time by yourself, that's a good thing. And not just sitting at home. You can meditate and everything at home. That's a different type of self perseverance. That's a different self.
I believe that it's I believe that it's a peace too that comes with it once you get to that point. I definitely could say over the last year or two, I figured that out. That I was making stuff hard for myself, or harder than it had to be. But I feel like once you find that peace and you accept, your position in it all, then it makes it that much easier to embrace your growth, and be able to be calm about focusing more on the things that you could do something about versus the things that you ain't got no control over. I can say I realized that. I've definitely been the baby mama that then bust windows off and chase girlfriends down and tried to fight the fathers and all that craziness, but it never really made them be who I needed them to be for my kids. So again, that's a choice. Regardless if you said, well, it was something she said or did that made me not want to come around. I just feel like a real parent ain't gonna let nobody get in the midst of them trying to build that bond with their child. So to me, that's a shitty excuse.
And that's why I support my son with trying to see his kids you know, that's a gut wrenching, hurtful feeling when somebody that you've been around every day, all day, that know you, that love you, that you know you are their hero, and then they're snatched away, and you know you have to involve the courts and things like that. And but the other party, you know, does everything in their power to make sure, no matter what, that
It ended. No, it ended my life. Okay, well, thanks to everybody that joined. I'm gonna be reposting it to my Facebook and Instagram. Stay tuned and look out for future episodes. We gonna, build our viewers, and we gonna have some guests here soon. So I know we all battling, through this pandemic still, but we owe it to ourselves to have these conversations. So I appreciate all y'all who joined, even if you didn't stick around. Check out my page so you can go back and watch the entire interview. Tonight's topic was single parenting. Good night. Okay.